Mckenzies on the Move is back. Mckenzies on the Move 2.0. I'm excited. So I have just finished my summer season away on the workboat, and I have flown directly from there to my boat here, which is a place near Marseille. And now the plan is to do 7 days hard prep to polish the whole boat, anti-foul the whole boat, put it all back together, do all of the checks before she goes on the back of a tractor and goes to the water in 7 days time. So I've got a busy 7 days. After that's done and it's in the water, I'm going to sail her solo back to Mallorca, where the kids and Kirsten will join me, at which point I will give you the full lowdown of what's been happening the last 3 years and how we've moved forward and how we're now in the position with the new boat to set off on our next big adventure. I shall give you a full boat tour of our Outremer 45, and then we shall start the preparations for starting the big adventure, which starts with crossing the Atlantic. I'm super excited. So I've got 7 days, very hard work now, to go as quick as I can to get everything done, and I'll see you in Majorca. I love that. It's brilliant. It's like a YouTube thing, you know, you put your hand in like that and put it out and it like shuts down the screen. It's brilliant. Always wanted to do it. All right, let's go and do this.
I'm gonna dance by myself like nobody's watching. Don't really care if my rhythm's off, 'cause I'm gonna dance like nobody's watching me. I'm gonna dance by myself like nobody's watching. Don't really care if my rhythm's off, 'cause
Working fast. So I'm on day 4. I have managed to polish 90% of the boat, do the full engine checks, gearbox checks. I have checked all of the electronics, run the heating, run the fridges, de-pickled and flushed the water maker. So most of the hard work is done now with the polishing. So now that's all that is left. Is today I shall start running the rigging back through and putting everything back on the boat that I put into storage for the last 5 months, and then I shall lower the dinghy, give this dinghy a good wash, reconnect the battery, pump up the dinghy and check that everything's working okay, and then lift it up and secure it. That leaves me another 3 days to prepare the anti-fouling, do 2 to 3 coats of anti-fouling around the boat and make sure that everything is ready to go. So I'm excited, really excited to get back in the water and get sailing. Really windy time at the moment, but it's looking good for Monday.
took a trip back to the sun to revive myself. No matter what I do, I just feel like I do what I do for you. I'm gonna dance, 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 dance. I'm gonna dance, 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 dance. I'm gonna dance, dance, dance like nobody's watching me. I'm gonna dance.
I find it fascinating in shipyards and storage facilities like this. I grew up always wanting and being focused on sailing around the world. I have no idea why, but it's just been a keen interest of mine to circumnavigate the globe on a sailboat, and I'm so happy I'm at that place now to begin. But looking at all these boats, maybe 50-60% haven't been touched in a number of years, just makes me think, how many of these boats had owners with the same vision for a voyage at sea? How many of these owners fulfilled their dreams and accomplished their dreams and their voyages? And how many of these boats were bought and never really built back up to scratch or refurbished or even finished being built? One thing's for sure, With all these boats here, there must be so many stories that could be told. I think the thing that I enjoy most about the cruising lifestyle is the really interesting characters that you get to meet along the way. Fellow sailors that have a real passion for the sea. There's always some great stories to listen to late in the evening. This one is my favourite in the shipyard. I'd love to know who built it, where he built it, how much it cost to build, and if it's ever sailed, because the laws of physics say that it shouldn't sail. Looks like it weighs about 15 tons and it's tiny. Okay, that's enough of this shipyard business. Let's forward wind a little bit, get the boat back in the water, and let's go sailing. It's time. If you ever come to Port St. Louis to store your boat, bring a lot of mosquito repellent, I tell you. Oof.
I'm gonna dance by myself like nobody's watching. Don't really care if my rhythm's off, 'cause I'm gonna dance like nobody's watching me. I'm gonna dance by myself like nobody's watching. Don't really care if my rhythm's off, 'cause I'm gonna dance like nobody's watching me.
So we managed to leave the shipyard okay. Everything went very well, no scratches, and yeah, happy to be on my way to Mallorca, happy to leave the shipyard. So we have left now. It's 11 AM. I'm hoping to be in north of Mallorca by about 7 or 8 PM tomorrow night. We've got no wind at the moment, about 230 miles to go, and the weather is predicted to be, for the first 2 to 3 hours we don't have so much wind, and then it fills in to 13, 14, 15 knots on the beam, and it stays with us for until about 8 PM. Then it drops off and we'll have to motor through the night, which is nice because that enables me to maybe grab 20-minute micro sleeps during the night to try and keep a little bit rested. And then at 5 AM I can put up the code D and we can head downwind, and we have nice 15 to 20 knots all the way back to Majorca, and we should arrive in there at about 5, 6, 7, 8 PM, I hope. Let's see. So it's nice. I put up the code 0 in a minute and wait for the wind, and happy days. Happy to be back at sea.
Dance, 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 dance. I'm gonna dance, dance, dance like nobody's watching me. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna dance. I've been trying to cope since you ran away. I've been feeling lost, I've been feeling pain. And no matter what I do, I just feel
Beautiful.
by myself. No matter what I do, I just feel like I do what I do for you.
Well, hello, good evening. It's been a great day's sail, really enjoyable sail. We've been sailing 9 hours now and we've covered 72 miles. So we've averaged 8.1 knots and maximum speed of 12.1 knots. No real dramas, although I did hit a huge log about 1 metre across that was a real thud to the boat, which gave me a real shock. but I've checked the rudders and the propellers, and the bilges are all dry, so I don't think there's any real damage, but I'll have to check when I get back to Mallorca on Wednesday morning. I'll dive under the hull and give it a little check. But it's a lovely evening, beautiful clear night, lots and lots of stars, not too much shipping, 3 or 4 large ships about, but it's a pretty quiet night, so I'm going to try and grab some rest for the next 4 or 5 hours before the wind comes back. So, sun's up, what a night. The wind's filled in again, got a lot of rain, sun's trying to poke through. We've been averaging about 10 knots and surfing up to 15 knots. But yeah, great night. Good morning ahead. Almost there. So I made it back to Mallorca. Very good time, less than 29 hours. As you could see by the video footage, I really didn't enjoy that sail very much. But now the rain has cleared and the sun has come out, and I am going to get ready because the kids are going to come and stay on board tonight. We haven't seen much of each other for the last 6 months. They're very excited, and there's always a bit of a party for the first night, so be warned. Kirsten's super excited because she's got a new topper on her belly, so one wish is a topper.
It's changed the whole experience, I'm telling you.
Game changer.
Game changer. Happy days. Oh.
Amy's been doing drama classes, but obviously you can't tell. So family is back. I've welcomed them back on board.
Oh, thanks so much.
So we've got another week to prepare. The kids are going to school every day. I've got some final preparations on board, and we've got to prepare the house to possibly rent it out. And then we set sail in about a week from now, and we are all super excited. Aren't we, kids?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely,
Yeah.
Can't wait. I will definitely love scuba diving and spearfishing with my new spear gun.
Oh.
That's amazing.
Amy?
Also, I'm gonna love everything.
You're gonna love everything. It's gonna be a long way to get there, but once we're there, it's gonna be fantastic.
Amazing.
Okay, so now we are back in Majorca and we have time. We shall do the boat tour that I promised. As soon as I've removed my pants from drying, I shall give it the boat tour. So, this is a 2022 Outremer 45, which is 48 foot long, or 14.5 meters long, 7.5 meters wide, or 23 foot wide. And she is a fast cruising cat. So she's a performance catamaran, which means she's great for crossing oceans, but she's fast when she does it and she's safe when she does it. So let me start first of all by showing you the interior. So this is the salon area. This table here goes down and then we fill it in with cushions, and this turns into a bed for when we're doing night passages, which is often very, very useful. And over here we have the navigation station. So we have a computer here that relays all the information I need, and of course you can look at the weather on that. It's a computer, so you can check the weather, you can watch Netflix as you like. And then we've got the wind instruments, we've got the autopilot, we've got the computer here that controls the whole boat basically, and you can steer the boat from inside when the weather is really, really bad. And then we have a radio here that has a lot of safety systems built in, and we have an OLAS core for the children, which is to give us some loud alarms if the children went overboard when they've got their bracelets on. And we've got fans, and we've got over here we've got a 2-burner hob and a very effective little oven. And then over here we've got a fridge, 100-litre fridge, as well as a freezer over here. So coming down into the left pontoon, we have Jake's bedroom here, which is a double bedroom, wardrobe space. Underneath the bed we have got 4 large spares boxes, which has got enough spares to cover for pretty much any sort of scenario on board. And coming through here we've got a second bathroom with a shower for the kids and their own aquarium to watch what's going on. That's actually an escape hatch. If the highly unlikely event the boat ever turned over, then that would be your escape route out the bottom of the boat. And then we've got Amy's double room. Amy's double room here. Again, nice sea view. And under here we store a lot of the food. For crossing the Atlantic we need 3 weeks worth of food for 4 or 5 people. So there's a lot of food that gets stored under there as well. And coming back up the stairs here, we should go into the owner's pontoon, or our pontoon. So back here we've got our double bed. Again, another sea view, fantastic. Couple of fans, put extra fans in here. Wardrobe, some storage, and then we've got a small washing machine, just 4 kilos, and then comes through into our bathroom area, which is in here, and through into the shower area with a seat for when you're at sea or crossing an ocean, you're bouncing about, it's best to sit down. Again, with sea view. So again, under the bunk, of course, when you're traveling with a boat like this, crossing oceans, you need so many spares. So this is boxes and boxes full of spares. Basically everything that happens, from a toilet that won't flush, to a sail where a slider is broke, to a tap filter that needs replacing, to absolutely anything. Engine spares, water maker spares, just anything you can think of really. So yeah, it's a lot of spares that we carry. So coming back up here to the salon area, then we've got the outside space, which is where we spend most of our time. We've got a tent like this that goes all the way around for sailing in bad weather or for when it's raining, so we can tent ourselves in. Of course you can remove the whole thing as well when the weather's nice. So it's a nice area. This is the fridge, like I said. We put this flexi teak down. It was just white non-skid, but we thought this is much warmer and nicer to look at. And we've got a barbecue over there, and I made this nice storage thing here for all the snorkeling gear that's wet, so we can just leave it in there to dry. And this is like our car on the sea. We've got our dinghy that lives up here in the davits. We just lower that down with a 20 horsepower engine on the back. So coming out onto the deck, we have solar panels there. We've got 900 watts of solar, and we've got the Starlink for the internet, so we've got internet even when we're crossing oceans. We're always online. And we've got more solar up here on the Bimini. So back here is where the boarding ladder is when you're swimming, and a shower in here. And this is where we have the first engine room. So bear with me. Down here we've got the first engine. It's a Volvo Penta, 30 horsepower. It's got 400 hours on her now, so it's almost like new. And back here we've got the boiler, all the lines for tying up, and then we carry gas at the back, and spare oils, water filters, shoebox. So that's one engine room. Okay, the other engine room. It's down here. At the moment I've got the water maker running, so I can make 100 litres of fresh water an hour from seawater. Absolute magic. And coming down here, we've got the second engine. And then in here we've got some safety equipment for a sea parachute or a sea drone to slow us down. This is the water maker, very effective. And then we've got second anchor and some spares in the back there. And this is a hot water heating system that when we're in cold environments we can pump hot water around the boat, which heats up small radiators with fans on them, so the whole boat is fully heated if need be. Okay, now this boat, because it's a performance boat, you've got bucket racing seats, and then you've got a tiller, so if you want to steer the boat sitting in this seat looking ahead, you can use the tiller for steering the boat when you're going really, really fast downwind. When you're sailing at 14-15 knots, it's a lot of fun. This is the dagger boards. As it's a performance boat, you drop these down when you're heading into the wind so that it carves much, much faster up into the wind and has much, much better performance. And then when you're sailing downwind, you can lift them up so there's less friction in the water and you go a lot faster. So this is the hangout area. We've put up the canopy just to show that in the tropics you can have some nice shade. In here we have got the fuel tank and some extra gas, and in here we've got 400 litres of water in a water tank. So the reason this boat has these trampolines, it's not so the kids can jump up and down on them, it's so that water, when you're heading into large waves, the water can splash up through the tramps without hitting under the bottom of the boat, which would cause a lot of slamming. So this is because it's a performance boat, they're very long pontoons, long hulls, and really give it that performance without the slamming, which is great. So obviously we are all very sporty people. We like to keep busy when we're on board, so we need to carry all the toys somewhere. So the way that we do the storage on this boat is because we want to have 2-3 kiteboards, we want to have 2 kayaks, we want to have maybe bikes, and then we've got all of the light wind sails to make her really perform really well, and as well as the fishing rods, the free diving gear. So we've got 2 storage areas, which is here, which is fantastic. It's like the garage of the boat. So if you climb down, it's pretty big. Okay, so in this locker we have got kite surfing boards and some kites at the back, and this is where the bean bags live when they're not out on deck. And then we've got all the lines that we use on the boat, as well as beach dry bags, more beach dry bags. This is lots of kit that I use for different things. In here we've got a wetsuit bag, and then we've got 2 more kites. Here we've got free diving equipment, harness for going up the mast, beach shades. Here we've got an assortment of spear guns and pole spears, and here we've got a Mckenzies water generator, which at night, when we lose the power that's being made by the solar panels, if we're sailing, we put this out the back of the boat, and then it gives us 24 hours a day power coming off the motion of the boat moving forward in the water. So fantastic storage area. And on the other side, we have got the same. So in here we have got 3 light wind sails. So we've got a light wind sail for heading into the wind, we've got a light wind sail for heading across the wind, and we've got a light wind sail for heading dead downwind. So we switch them as necessary. Kayaks. This here is 3 large solar panels that I've made into this storage piece, where I put them out when we're at anchor onto the trampolines, and then we've got extra solar power, and then when we're sailing we store them in here. Here we got the big fishing rods, 2 lots of fishing rods, and Jake's fishing rod, and the canopy, and then in here we've got fishing equipment and the deck spares just for fixing everyday small stuff. And then we've got extra lines, and then we've got all the sheets and then floating lines for when we tie ashore. But yeah, great storage facility down here, plenty of room to keep everything. Okay, so coming forward to the boat, this is where we put the light wind sails on here on a furling system so that one person can sail the boat very easily. But yeah, she's a great performing boat, often doing 200 miles in a day quite easily. It's not how fast she goes, it's how uncomfortable do you want to be, because she'll go very fast. But yeah, it's a great home. We really love her. Okay. I think that's about it for the boat tour.
Tea?
Yeah, love a cup of tea. Boat tour done. So I promised an update of what's been happening in the last 3 years, and I like to work a million miles an hour. So Kirsten says, wait a minute, she's got to finish a sandwich, but I've got too much to do in a day. I need to get on. I need to press on. So the update, the last 3 years. So after Mckenzies on the move, we had such a great time. We knew it's exactly what we wanted to do, is move forward and do some bigger travels further afield, cross some oceans and circumnavigate. That's the big plan. So after the summer finished, we put our boat up for sale and we sold it within a week, which was good. And we put a deposit down on the new Ultramare 45, a new one. It was too much money for us really, but we thought we could stretch and we'd try and make it work. So we put a deposit down. And then sadly 6 months later the Ukrainian war started and the price of the boat went up 350,000 euros pretty much overnight. So we decided to back out of that, and we lost quite a substantial, I mean tens of thousands of euros in a deposit. They gave us half the deposit back but not all of it, which was okay. But because of that we managed to, or I made a deal with the shipyard, because I felt it was a little bit unfair, that I made a deal that as soon as a boat comes in that's pretty much next to new and in really good condition, that we would get first dibs before it's advertised on the web and before it gets put out with the yacht brokers. So luckily 6 months later this boat came up. It was only then 6 months old because we bought it a year and a half ago. 6 months old on a French flag, and it was, the spec was, it was uncanny. It was identical to what we would have spec'd the new build. So of course the price was still high. It was more than it was new because these boats are so sought after now. The waiting time is about 5 years now for a boat like this. So it took us about 6 weeks of working every day, and we managed to purchase the boat. So that was fantastic. We took ownership of her in April, so I didn't even see her. I had her delivered to a shipyard for the summer last summer and stored it in the shipyard while I went away for 6 months. At which time Kirsten really has been focusing on her yacht management skills, and she has started up her own company called Yacht Savvy, which is in yacht management and crew placement, which is starting to work already, and it's already making a profit, which is fantastic. So hopefully this will finance or help us to finance our circumnavigation with the kids at a later date. So last winter we took the boat from the shipyard and I moved on to the boat for 6 months, and I sailed her non-stop throughout the whole of the winter.
You lived on board?
Lived on board for 6 months. We didn't use a marina, and the kids and Kirsten would come out in midweek and come out every weekend, and we did some big trips on it, and we pushed her hard. We pushed her in the foulest weather we could find, and we pushed her in the nicest weather we could find, and we found that the boat was performing excellently, fantastic. So I did a lot of changes. The boat was ready to go around the world already. That's what it's built and designed for. It's a fast performance cat that's designed to cross oceans. But I wanted to perfect it and make it how I wanted to have it. So I've added extra solar panels, extra storage, Starlink internet, second autopilot. I've just sort of beefed the boat up a little bit, added some more light wind sails and really funked it up. As you can see, she's looking really good. So We then decided that the house was crazy to still have a mortgage on it, and the house had gone up so much in value that we had in Alaro that we decided to sell the house and pay off the mortgage, buy a smaller house, and therefore be prepared to move all on board and go for longer, you know, this circumnavigation sooner rather than later. So we managed to sell our house. It took about 9 months, and we got a very, very good price. So we found a second house that we've now moved into, which, although we don't have a mortgage and it was cheaper, is actually a nicer house. So as you can see, this is the house that we... Hang on.
Wait, what?
This is the house that we moved out of, which was a wonderful house with a family growing up. And this is the house that we now have moved into, which we think is even nicer. So we're super happy with that. So I have just got back, as you've seen on the videos, I've just got back from my summer away. We are now ready to sail. We're in the final stages before we leave to cross the Atlantic. The kids have finished school today. So we've got, so they'll be moving on board tomorrow after Halloween party tonight. And we've got the final preparations. Basically, we're ready to go, but we promised the kids that they could go to this Halloween party next week. So we're waiting for that. And then we're going to take one crew member. We're going to head down to Gibraltar. Then we are going to go from Gibraltar after rest down to the Canaries. I'd like to stop at 3 of the islands, mainly Tenerife, but 2 of the smaller little islands. Just go for some hiking, maybe get a rental car and see some of the islands and wait for a perfect weather window. And then we shall sail the almost 3,000 miles across the Atlantic to our first stop, which is Barbados. So we're not sure if we're going to take a crew member for that second big leg, because we haven't found a crew member that can do it at the moment. I'm really happy to do it by myself. I'd just like to do it, the 4 of us. But if we find somebody that's willing to do it, then it would make life... It's not so much the sailing, which is hard work. It's not the sailing at all. It's just the sort of entertaining the kids and that sort of thing, and just adding a little
Extra person to the mix.
Extra person to the mix, really make it more fun for the kids. But we're going to sail to Barbados. Then after being there for a week and resting, we are going to start the very south side of the Caribbean, the Windward Islands in Tobago, and then we're just going to work our way north all the way up to the British Virgin Islands if we have time. So we start, but the thing is, we're not going to rush it. We're just going to take our time and really have some quality family time, which is what we need now after a summer away. So we can start in Tobago, then up to Grenada, then St Vincent and the Grenadines, where there's some amazing kite surfing and water sports and snorkeling and diving, and some nice marine reserves, so we can spend a lot of time there. And then maybe we'll head up a little bit further north from there. So we're going to spend 5 months in the Caribbean, or 4 months in the Caribbean, and then when we've finished at the end of March, beginning of April, we shall take the boat down to the Dutch Antilles in Aruba and store the boat in Aruba in a storage facility, the same as you saw in Marseille, until next season when we do the Bahamas. That'll be Mckenzies on the Move 3.0. All right, so I think that's it for the update and the boat tour. And I look forward to seeing showing you the final preparations before we leave, and then we will be starting our journey towards Gibraltar in the next episode. So happy to be back. Mckenzies on the Move 2.0. We're back.
I'm going to finish my sandwich now.
Now you can finish your sandwich. Sorry about the too much talking, but I needed to update you properly. And yeah, look forward to the future. Look forward to the adventures this winter. Okay, up. Stop. Whoa. Shit, it's always windier than it looks. It's hanging out in Mallorca. Okay, so one of the jobs is to replace this swivel here with a ball bearing swivel, which I have got here, and then a complete rig check. This is the third time we've done this. So the kids have got back from the Halloween party. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. It's the 1st of November, and we leave in 5 hours time. So we finally got everything done today. The weather is very windy, actually. It's going to be a bit rough in the morning, but we're going to head to Gibraltar at 6 AM today. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and look forward to episode 2, where you follow us to Gibraltar and the Canaries. Okay, so good night. Good night from the Mckenzies on the move.